Welcome to the World Top 20 Project, Future World Leaders. The Big Picture. A better tomorrow starts with you today. The World Top 20 Project is an international project aimed to serve and protect children around the world by ensuring they have access to quality education in a safe and nurturing environment through community outreach, organizational and institutional partnership, and program development. To ensure safe learning environments for every child, we are creating an international education database that will help us monitor the progress of set goals for over 200 nations until the year 2030. The big picture for the World Top 20 project is easily visualized using a pyramid. Communication strategy at the base, organizational structure in the middle, and leadership at the top. It really does start with you. Let's take a closer look. This pyramid is built from the top down, with leadership first. Step 1. Identify a leader. Select a national team captain. Once you have your national team captain, you can move to the middle of the pyramid and start building out your organizational structure. The first step, create a communication center. Step 2. Establish a support network. With your support network in place, you can move to Step 3. Attract a local celebrity. Then, Step 4. Develop a relationship with local media. The final component to your organizational structure is Step 5. Collaborate with other NGOs. Now you're ready to build the base of your pyramid, the communication strategy. Step 1. Gather education data. And finally, communication strategy Step 2, the base of the pyramid, analyze and process data. Let's take a look at each section a little more in detail. Here is a brief overview of the leadership section. National teams gather educational data for the World Top 20 project. Each national team has one captain and 4 vice captains. Captains and vice captains will manage 2 volunteer coordinators and many members. Members use their social media platforms to bring awareness to the national team mission, programs, and campaigns by posting and sharing information weekly and monthly. It starts with you. Leadership Step 1. Identify a leader. Select a national team captain. The national team captain will set up and manage the national team Facebook public group page. They will organize and work with 4 regional vice captains to make sure the data is collected twice a year. They will send the information to NJMed after they have processed the data in 4 levels: early childhood, primary, lower secondary, and high school. They will link the national team with all World Top 20 project programs, partners, and campaigns. It is expected you will serve as the national team captain for 2 years. National team vice captains have the following responsibilities: gather and process education data from their region, send the data to the national team captain, help moderate the national team Facebook group page, organize and manage 2 volunteer coordinators to help recruit new members to gather data, recruit a regional celebrity as an ambassador for their region in support of the national team, link the national team with all World Top 20 project region partners, and serve as the national team vice captain for 2 years. Working for the national team captain and the national team vice captains are volunteer coordinators. Volunteer coordinators will help recruit new members to the national team from the region. They will gather and process educational data from their regional and local area. They will send the data to the national team vice captains. Now is a good time to remind you you will be fully supported and have excellent training. Training for national team captains involves weekly emails, directions on what and how to post, how to manage regional vice captains, how to submit education data, how to develop partnerships with the media, and how to develop partnerships with the World Top 20 project partners. Training for vice captains includes monthly assignments and updates, how to gather education data, how to develop relationships with the regional school and government education departments, how to submit education data, how to recruit volunteer coordinators, how to develop partnerships with the media, and how to recruit a regional celebrity ambassador. Training for volunteer coordinators includes monthly updates on recruitments with local organizations, how to recruit new members, such as students, teachers, and community leaders, how to develop relationships with schools and teachers, how to develop partnerships with the media, and how to gather educational data. And last but certainly not least, training for members. Members will learn how to post weekly. Here's a brief overview of the middle of the pyramid organizational structure. Leadership will create an organization that can eventually collect educational data on school enrollments and completion rates. To give the clearest picture, educational data will be collected at 3 different levels: local, regional, and national. Locally, data will be collected from local school districts, schools, and NGOs. Regionally, data will be collected from regional school districts. And nationally, data will be collected from the nation's Department of Education. In order to develop your organizational structure, you will need to learn how to describe your program. The need for the program. Gathering regional education data for the number of children in school, the number of school-aged children, and the number of children that complete a school level. Note there are 4 levels: early childhood, primary, lower secondary, and high school. Goals and objectives. Gather data twice a year from local schools and communities to report to the regional vice captain, to compile the information to be distributed to the national team captain. Program activities. Provide data collection forms to regional vice captains to send to schools and communities they have contacted and requested educational data from. Program resources. Data collection forms in a maintained Excel file to share between the national team captain and vice captains. Stage of development. Monitor the process of each region and document the problem areas. This is a key point. Each national team needs a community mapping plan to gather data. And now on to the organizational structure itself. Step 1. Create a communication center. Publish a Facebook public group page to attract members, post project updates, and to engage with the public. Step 2. Establish a support network with 4 regional vice captains to help organize and promote the national team. Step 3. Attract a local celebrity to gain more exposure in each region. Step 4. Develop a relationship with local media to attract more members to the national team. And finally, Step 5. Collaborate with other NGOs to provide their resources to schools, teachers, students, and parents. And here for quick review again is the organizational structure from a distance. Create a communication center, establish a support network, attract a local celebrity, develop a relationship with local media, and collaborate with other NGOs. Now on to the base of the pyramid, the communication strategy. Here is a brief overview of the communication strategy. World Top 20 Project communicates with the national team captains, who communicate with the vice captains, who communicate with the volunteer coordinators, who communicate with the members. In more detail, the World Top 20 Project will communicate with the nations via the Global Citizen Online Community Facebook weekly post. The World Top 20 Project will also communicate with the national team captains with weekly emails. Similarly, the national team captain will communicate with the national team members via the national team Facebook page daily and weekly post. The national team captain will also communicate with vice captains via weekly or monthly emails. National team vice captains will communicate with volunteer coordinators via email and direct messaging, phones, or face-to-face meetings. National team vice captains will also communicate with volunteer coordinators via weekly or monthly emails. And now on to step 1 of the communication strategy, gather education data. Build a partnership with your country's Football Youth Association to gather data biannually in exchange for free educational tools for their players and communities. Data will be gathered from local schools, local daycare centers, local school districts, regional school districts, local social service organizations, local health centers, local government vital statistics and records departments, local public health departments, and local media. Forms and sample letters requesting data are available in the group guide. The data collection process will have 3 key parts: describing your program. For example, does your national team have a calendar for collecting enrollment data and student completion data? Designing the evaluation. Does your national team have a point person to collect the data from regions? And lastly, and most importantly, collecting the data. Does your national team have a step-by-step process for collecting data from your regions? Step 2 of the communication strategy, and the base of the pyramid, is to analyze and process data. Work with local colleges and universities to organize data. Analyzing the data. Does your national team have a regional map of schools and the number of school-age children? Reporting results. Does your national team have a calendar for reporting the nation's enrollment and student completion data to NJMed? And there you have it. National teams will be evaluated per the following. 1. State the purpose of the evaluation. Who will be the person assigned to compile the data and be designated as the person all data must be sent to? This could be a national team captain or a national team captain assistant. 2. Define the users of the evaluation results. Who will reconnect with the regional vice captain to confirm the data has two sources and all forms are returned? 3. Define the uses of the evaluation results. When will the national team host a conference call with all vice captains to answer all questions about the data collection plan? 4. Develop evaluation questions. The national team should provide questionnaires about what concerns regional vice captains may face in working with schools and communities and set up what vice captains can do to address those problems. 5. Collect data. And is the data from a valid source? The vice captain's role is to gather educational data from their region for students ages 3 through 18. This is accomplished by drafting a plan that includes maps of schools and areas where children live. Next, they'll develop contacts in those areas to gather data through forms to find out how many children are in school and out of school. Collection of enrollment data for the number of children in school starts in September and October and ends in November. Collection of completion data for the number of children that finish a level starts in June and July and ends in August. 6. Analyze the data. The national team captain will receive all data from their regional vice captain in December and September to prepare a report on the number of children in school and out for the project. The national team captain will also be responsible for creating a development charter to show the areas data is missing from in regions. 7. Report results. And will stakeholders accept the data as valid? Each report must list the country's name, the region's output of data provided in percentages from 0 to 100, and the name of the person who gathered the data. 4 educational levels must be listed: early childhood, primary, lower secondary, and high school, each with a number of school-age children, both boys and girls, for that education level, and the number of children in school, again both boys and girls, at each level. The team captain is also encouraged to indicate what problems arose, why they occurred, and what modifications can be made to resolve them. This concludes our Future World Leaders presentation. Thank you very much.